This is the Art Beauty Podcast where we tell the real truth about the fake shit. Hi, everyone. I'm Amber, and today my fabulous co-host is Miss Jacque Reid. She is the founder of VeganSexyCool and also the co-host of the Read This, Read That podcast. And to kick off 2023, I was like, who's my favorite party girl? Let's call her in and have a great time. Jacque, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Amber. I'm excited to be here. Happy 2023.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I've learned my lesson though to be like, forget you 2022, because in 2020, when I started off, I'm like, 2019, so bad. 2020 is going to be the year. And we know how that happens. So
I know.
Now I
New
just
beginning.
hey, let's just try to kick it off and do the best we can every single day. I have to tell you, I am kind of obsessed with VeganSexyCool because it does play off of one of my favorite albums ever.
Crazy Sexy Cool.
I mean, TLC Waterfalls. I mean, that album was, and that's for people who are, maybe not millennials listening to this. It was the best album of like, what was it, the 90s? Yeah. I mean,
great group, right?
Such a great group. And I love that you're doing that. How you been, girl?
Good.
Yeah.
The holidays, you know what I mean? Just wanted to end 2022 the right way and walk into 2023 with wellness on the mind, which I always do. I like to start the year off leaning into wellness and just trying to, be my best self in the best way that I can. So, it's good. Life is good. I'm busy.
Yeah.
But that's always good for me. I like to be busy.
I have a question for you. Now, are you a person who makes like New Year's resolutions, or do you just kind of say, let's just, embrace wellness as a whole?
I loosely make resolutions, so it's more of the second thing. Sorry, my dog Oscar, who I like to just kind of overall lean into wellness as the year begins. They are going to compete with me right now. Stop it.
I love that Oscar is like, let me tell you about my resolutions.
Oh my God. He's like, I'm the star of this house. No, but yeah, I kind of like to always start the year off as strong as possible and lean into, yes, I'm going to be my best self. Yes, I'm going to be as well as I can be. And I really just try to be a better person. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to be nicer to people. I'm going to connect with family more. And I just try to remind myself of that through the year, but I'm not beating myself up if I don't stick to it. It's just kind of like I press restart in the beginning of the year and just think about ways that I can make my life better. And I just try to lean into that.
I love that. I got to tell you, I feel like I try to be a nicer person and it lasts all of 10 minutes until I walk out my door in New York and like somebody's like,
it's hard in New York. It is hard in New York.
It's hard. That subway system, it breeds special kinds of people and animals, but we won't get into that. I like thinking really more of like that being positive. And I love that your approach is kind of like, let's just reset. Yeah. I like that. I think I'm gonna try to adopt a little bit of that into my future.
Yeah, it works.
So I don't know if you can tell here today, but we talk about, I tell that we're going to say like the real truth about the fake shit. And today we really are going to get into that fake shit. Like I am wearing faux leather, vegan leather is what we call it now. In celebration of you and your mission.
Thank you.
I got to say though, the funny thing about vegan leather, it's not cheaper.
Well, it depends on where you get it. I mean, it's not cheaper depending on who's making it. If you're getting it from Stella McCartney, or a lot of brands, that are luxury brands are now making vegan leathers. And if you find those, it's the quality versus, you know what I mean? Something that's cheap, that's not as well made, that's still vegan or not vegan. If you buy cheap leather from, I'm not going to name a store, but just any store, but it's not a high quality in store, or the designer is not high, it's not going to be well made.
Right.
Period. It's not going to fit well. It's not going to last. So it's all what you pay for. I mean, vegan leather, you're paying for the craftsmanship. If you're paying more money, it's like any other garment that you would buy.
I will say I have a pair of vegan leather pants too, and I was like, maybe I'll just do a full vegan leather outfit, but
I love
you can
that.
tell the quality is different between the two because one was, a little higher end and one was, a little bit more budget friendly. Both
Yeah.
look great on their own, but you can't wear them together because you're right. You can tell,
You can tell the
like,
difference.
you
But
can
it's
tell the
just like
difference.
anything else. Sometimes people think, oh, vegan means something so different. And it really doesn't. It's just, just like anything else, there are going to be vegan cheeses out there, vegan foods out there that you like, and there are going to be vegan foods that you don't like. Just like
Right.
anything else, you can go to a regular non-vegan restaurant and the food is lousy. Doesn't
Yeah.
mean you're not going to go to a restaurant again.
Yeah.
Or you're not, if you got spaghetti or something like that, some kind of pasta and it was nasty, doesn't mean that you're not going to try that again. So that's the thing about, Vegan Sexy Cool. It's about educating people and making them aware of the fabulous things that are out there that just happen to be vegan. Like
Now,
what
are
you're
now are you have you been a vegan for a long time? Are you fully vegan? Are you kind of like
Yes, I am all in. Actually January 2023 marks my 5-year anniversary. It feels like
wow.
I've been vegan much longer, even though I wish I had started sooner. Yes, and I'm what's considered an ethical vegan, which is, in the vegan space, either you are vegan or you're not. A lot of people hear vegan and they think, oh, or they might hear, and I don't know specifically if what's her name, Lizzo is all vegan. She
Okay.
eats vegan. So what we like to say in the vegan world is, just so you can be clear about it, is they eat plant-based, right? Meaning
Okay.
they eat vegan, but they may not be a vegan, because a vegan is someone who is an advocate for animals, meaning nothing that we buy as consumers, nothing we do leans into harming animals. So that's
Gotcha.
everything from the car that I buy. I won't buy it if it has leather interiors. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Furniture, clothing, beauty, hair care products. I read labels, I do my research. I don't buy anything that comes from an animal.
Gotcha.
Nothing. Yeah.
Gotcha. I mean, so it's been so interesting, working in this beauty space, and working with you. We did some segments on fashion.
Yeah.
I've learned when I used to think of vegan, it was like, okay, I'm not eating animal products. But I didn't really realize, the importance of having vegan skincare. Because
Yeah.
obviously, if you're somebody who doesn't want anything made from or by or with animals, you're not going to want to put it on your face because we know that it absorbs into our bodies, it absorbs into our system. So I think it's been really interesting to see how many vegan friendly lines have come up.
Yeah, it's so true, because and I think it came up a little bit after the whole organic thing became
Yeah,
like buzzword in beauty, right? First it was natural, then it was organic. And now vegan is really a big buzzword in the world of beauty. And just to your point, 60% of what we put on on our bodies, right, is absorbed into our bodies. So if you're going to lean into eating vegan because you want to live a healthier life, right? If you do it just
yeah.
because you want to be healthier, then it just makes sense that when it comes to beauty products, hair products, makeup, skincare, everything should be vegan, because it's going to be plant-based. And otherwise, if it's not, then you run the risk of toxins going into your body, synthetics, and other man-made things put in a product, or things that are actually harmful for you and not helpful to you.
Right.
Because
Um,
oh, go ahead, go ahead.
no, no, please, please, please go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, lanolin is something that comes from sheep's wool, like it's oil, and it makes things really, smooth, and helps. It's probably in lotions and things, like it makes things creamy and moisturizing, but it also can clog your pores.
Yeah.
And there are so many things that are vegan and plant-based that will do the exact same thing and not be harmful to you and not be harmful to animals. So, it's just like, it just makes sense to lean into the vegan space when it comes to beauty too.
Now, I also feel like, and forgive me for saying this, I think vegan has people look at that very differently today than they did 20 years ago, right? So
They-
20 years ago, I felt like if you were vegan, it was kind of like, oh, you're this kind of crunchy hippie,
yeah,
rah rah save the earth person, whereas now today it really is more about an entire lifestyle and shift. My niece is a vegan. I've got another niece who's a vegetarian. I've got one who's a flexitarian. So I know
Wow.
that there's so many differences, and they're all
Somebody like-
young. They're all the younger, and they look great, by the way. I gotta say, there's something to be said for that. Do you find that when you went, before we get into some of your favorite brands and products, when you decided to make that change 5 years ago, did you find that it was kind of a hard shift? Was it hard in social life? Like, is it hard to go out and find things and, dine out and
Yeah, it's all of the above. It is
okay.
a hard shift. So when you make the decision, you have to have thick skin and you have to be tough because it
Okay.
is not easy, and that's what you deal with. You deal with, first it's just the hardest part at first is adjusting to, okay, the mind shift, right? What do I eat? I mean, years ago when I started this, I would go into the grocery store if I didn't plan ahead, right? And I
Right.
would be like, okay, what am I going to buy? I'm not even thinking about getting proteins or certain nutrients. I'm just hungry and I want something to eat.
Right.
Which
Which
can
is bad whether you're vegan or not.
which is
You
bad
never
whether
want to
you're vegan
go.
or not, right? You want a balanced meal, but when you switch to vegan, it's like, okay, well, what does that mean? So you
Mm,
really have to take, and I didn't, I just decided to just go on the in and learn along the way. Now I can walk into a grocery store, whether it be a Whole Foods or Trader Joe's that has a lot of vegan options, or a local grocery store that has just a few, but has fruits and vegetables and tofu and some things like that. And I can make a great, delicious meal that anyone would love, whether they're vegan or not. But I know how to grocery shop just like that now. So I say that to say to people, it feels so overwhelmingly hard in the beginning, but you will shift, your mind will shift, and it just becomes easier. So harder than that, once you are into it and you're like, okay, I'm sticking with this, is the rest of the world, right? It's going to non-vegan restaurants and
yeah.
dealing with wait staff and even chefs who have no idea what it is to eat vegan. So you may order, okay, I'll just take some grilled vegetables, and the waiter may take your order and he may say to the chef, he or she may say to the chef, they want this without this or that, and you get it and it's loaded with butter, which
Butter.
when you're vegan, you can taste butter like
Oh,
that. And so
honey.
it's like, okay, no, let's send this back. Or they'll give you something and it'll have chicken broth in it or fish
Yeah.
oil, and it's just like, so you have to be that person that's like, hey, this is not exactly what I ordered, and you have to send things back. And I am not one who takes delight in sending things back, but I do love myself enough to make sure that when I'm paying for something, that I get what I ask for. And there's a kind way to do that without being rude or nasty, just to make sure that you get what you want. So there's that. And then there's the constant conversations that you have to have with non-vegans who hate vegans, right? There's a popular, they just hate the fact that we exist, and they want to, send you a picture of a hamburger or send you a picture of a steak. And they want to say, like, if you post something about, oh, they're killing cows, to get milk, and they're like, oh, I just ate some meat, today. And it's just like, when you're vegan and you're an ethical vegan, one thing that you unfortunately see is abuse of animals, because you follow PETA, you follow different
Yeah.
sanctuaries, you follow different educational groups on social media, and you lean into it because you want to know, because I'm an animal advocate. So I have to be aware of the harm that's coming to animals out there. And so I've seen much worse than a burger on your plate, but there are these knuckleheads who are like, I'm going to show her, I'm going to send her a piece of a picture of fried chicken. That'll show
Mm.
her. And I'm like, okay. And then there are the people who are acquaintances, that people that you interact with, coworkers, who are just, well, plants feel, and you eat plants, and so da 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 da, or it's not healthy to be. You're constantly
On the
constantly
defensive, which is like,
debate
mind your own
people.
business.
Well, I think here's my theory on that, and I talk about this a lot here and there. I think that my theory is that people who are not vegan, when they hear about veganism, like there was an article in the New York Times that said vegans are actually right about everything, right? Animal agriculture, factory farming, the environment, what's happening, what's happening to your bodies, that it's all like, we are right about everything, but people don't want to hear it. They don't want to, it's guilt. You know what I mean? They don't want to deal with the fact that they want to consider themselves animal lovers, but they're not, because they're eating animals. People don't want to hear that. People don't want to come face to face with that. And, it is what it is. You cannot be an animal lover and eat animals. You cannot be an animal lover and wear animals. It is what it is. And people don't want to deal with that. They don't, and they feel guilty. And they think that we think that we're better than non-vegans because we're just this moral high ground. And I don't think I'm better than anybody else. I just make different choices.
You know what? You nailed it right there. And I would say to everybody who's listening out there, no matter what your choices are, no matter what you're into, which side of the spectrum, I think that if there's one thing we can take into 2023 that I'm trying to do is to be a more active listener. Right. So I saw a lot of that with politics. We're not going to get too far into that. Right. But we're friends. And it's like, listen, why don't you we're friends. Respect my point of view. Let me listen. What most people don't do is they don't actually listen. But I found that I've been so educated, whether it's, like I said, politics or things in beauty or veganism right here, where you're like, let me listen to that. And you know what? You have a point. So let's go there. I think let's get now into the fun part of this, which is that you have really cultivated this lifestyle. You've cultivated this community, Vegan Sexy Cool. Which was it Charlie?
Right after
Oscar.
Oscar.
That's Oscar.
Oscar.
He's got a lot to say.
He's got a lot to say. He's like a handful. Let me grab him. Hold on one second.
Okay.
He's cute as a button.
Oh, he is cute as a button. He just wants attention. He wants to be part of the party.
He's gonna sit with mommy.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So what are some of like, are there certain brands that you really like? Because you also, have had a lifetime in front of the camera. You're very stylish. I know that you are acquainted to sort of the finer things in life. So let's talk a little bit more about the high end things that you're seeing out there in terms of brands that you like, in fashion and beauty.
Okay. There's so many. Fashion right now. I mean, Stella McCartney is just, it's very high end.
Yeah.
But people should know that her clothing are either vegan or vegetarian, depending on what she's making. But like, I cannot get enough of her shoes and boots and different things. It's very well made. I mean, I have this Stella McCartney bag that I bought for myself a couple of years ago, like during the pandemic, and it was pricey, but when I tell you this thing is a work of art, and that's how I look at it. It's like an investment piece. It's beautiful. So I have a lot of her pieces, but I look at them as investment pieces, and they cost, but they're very well made. But I also will bargain shop on Stella.
Well,
I'll buy previous thing.
They used to have Lohmann's here, which R.I.P. Lohmann's. I don't know if you're here. And Lohmann's used to have
girl.
Oh my God. Everything I learned in life, I learned in the dressing room at Lohmann's. I cried. Because I lived 2 blocks from there. So I would go all the time. And it's funny because I would say in like 2005, I bought a Stella McCartney jacket. And when I say it lasted, and I got it on a super deal at Lohmann's, but the thing lasted for like 15 years, So, I mean, I feel like I just recently got rid of it, but I think that another good point about investing in fashion is that it kind of takes away from the fast fashion.
Yes, which if you're vegan, chances are you're against fast fashion, right?
Yeah.
Because what it does to the environment. It's so wasteful. And listen, I'm all about saving a buck, right? I love bargain shopping. I love to save money. I love a great deal. But when it comes to fast fashion, you know what I mean? It's not well made, and it's horrific for the environment. So there are those of us that are vegan. It's like veganism is the gateway. If you start eating vegan, it opens you up to so many other things like your health and the environment. So yeah, so I like to be careful of what I buy, because there's a lot of vegan things that are part of fast fashion, right?
Yeah.
Really well made. It's going to give you trendy things, but that aren't well made. So with Stella McCartney, definitely not fast fashion. She's against fast fashion, but her things, I mean, it's just incredible what
Yeah.
she makes, the quality of them. So that's a big one. Nanushka is another one that I absolutely love. It's not as expensive as a Stella McCartney, but they really have some great faux leather pieces. And, a lot of people don't realize that silk is something that vegans don't wear as well. And with both of those brands, you can find things that are alternatives.
Okay.
That, it's like when you see the quality of what's out there that's faux silk, you don't miss it at
Right.
all. So that the label is another one that I love so much. These clothes fit like a bada. It's
Yeah,
so
and they are hot. We covered them
right.
on we did a television segment together, and was it the boots were from the label? Or it was the pants.
No,
The
the
pants
pants. The
and the
pants are like
jacket.
hot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like butter.
Oh, so well made. And it's a woman owned brand, and she's out in California, and she has all these beautiful well made pieces, right? That gives you, if you invest in her pieces, it gives you like a capsule wardrobe, which I love,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Everything goes with everything.
Uh,
Yeah, and she's got like bomber jackets, faux shearling jackets. I mean, great pants, like with a boot cut.
yeah.
Oh gosh, a lot of great monochromatic looks. Like her stuff is really well made. If you don't get it online, she's for sale at Neiman's as well,
Okay.
which already tells you it's well
Yeah.
made.
It's high
So
it's high class. Yep. Uh-huh.
yeah. So I mean, but aside from those brands, there are shoe companies that I love, but I just want to make it's like my brain won't let me go away from this point. If you go to like a Neiman's or a Saks and stores like that, and you see faux leather, there are a lot of brands out there that are making faux leather and making it well.
Yeah.
Not that you have to always shop at a high-end store to get those. Like we talked about Loman's. There are other, discount stores. I get a lot of stuff, online, the Outnet is one of my
Yeah.
favorite websites to buy things at discount. So I look around and try to find different things. Vera is another shoe company that I absolutely
Mm.
love. They have the cutest shoes, so well made. I love all these women owned companies. Another woman owned company that really is, the owner is vegan. And so she gets it, but she's also into girl power. So a lot of the shoes are named after dynamic women. And there's like this cushion for the balls of your feet, and on the
Yeah.
back of the heel of the pumps, there's this cushion. So your heel, I mean, it's just everything, every idea that goes into these shoes, it'll just blow your mind. There are just so many great brands out there. I could go on and on and on, but
I
just
love
oh, go ahead.
and you do go on and on. A vegan sexy cool, right? This is but I think it's important that we're not going on and on like that. But you have a lot of information, and you're really kind of trying to put it out there
Yeah,
so that people have this community and have understanding of the products and things that you love.
yeah, it's so, listen, you may not be ready to lean in and go all vegan, people that are out there, but you may say, you know what? If I have to get a dress, and you know what I'll do? I'll just go and buy a vegan dress, or like you did, the outfit that you have on that's gorgeous, and say, you know what? Just by buying something that looks great on me and that I love, I also helped out, save some animals, and I helped out the environment. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I
What?
didn't buy this. I am a Rent the Runway girl. So I rented it. I just know it's expensive because I look at
Let
the
me tell
MSRP.
you,
But so for me,
I'm a Rent the Runway girl too.
because you know what? And I just, I love at the end of the year, they tell you how much they saved and how much, again, against fast fashion. If you look in my closet, my husband now, I moved all my stuff into the little closet, and I gave him the big closet because they don't have, for me, I have basics. And then everything else, I've been a Rent the Runway girl for years. I'm like, I'm just gonna rent it. It's great.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm a Rent the Runway girl, no doubt. And it's not hard for me at all to find things that are vegan. I just read,
Read the,
you become a big time label reader when you become vegan, whether it's at the grocery store or when you're shopping for clothes and beauty products online. You are looking, let me go to the description. Let me see what it's made of. And that will guide you. But yeah, I mean, I love trying to not be wasteful now. And I
yeah.
didn't start off this way, right? I started off just as an animal advocate, but now I'm all into the environment and just trying to save the planet and trying not to be wasteful and being more of a minimalist. Like I've completely become this different person because of veganism.
Yeah.
Like really, it's like when I go out with my friends before I became vegan, I had to have the it bag of the season. I was spending all this money on clothing. I was constantly shopping and buying, and I love clothes. That did not change. But it's like now I buy things and it's like, do I really need that? I have
Yeah.
to love something before I buy. I have to love it.
Same.
Whereas before I was
Same.
like, that'd be cute. I can figure it out at home. And I would have something in my closet for years with the
Never
tags,
wear.
never would
Uh-huh.
wear it.
No. And the other thing I've learned as I've gotten older, wear the outfit. Drink the expensive wine, wear
Yeah.
the outfit. Like if you have it, so many people are like, I'm saving this.
Yeah.
I'm not
Live
going to
your
wear these
life.
earrings. I'm not going to wear these shoes. Now I'm like, do it. You spent the money, enjoy it while you can, because you never know. I don't want to, I want to make sure that we're being conscious of time here,
Yeah.
and get to the beauty stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
so what is like, are there beauty brands that you're really feeling like are knocking it out of the park in terms of like with vegan beauty?
Let me tell you something. Yes. So
Okay.
and I'll say this again off the top. There's so many things that you are already using that are vegan.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about you, but every once in a while, you stop. Every once in a while, I'll get like a little pimple or something, especially from wearing mask all the time
Yeah.
for COVID. And those little dots that they have,
Oh
they're like,
yeah. Yeah.
those are vegan.
Amazing. Yeah.
Those are vegan, right? So there's so many things, whether you get your beauty products at Target or from a department store or online, there's so many products that are already vegan. And then there are companies where all their products are vegan, right?
Yeah.
BIOSSANCE is one of my absolute favorites. Like
Yeah.
I'm constantly, once I ride the empties, as they say, I have tons of empty things from BIOSSANCE because it works. It started out with the lip balm for me, which I actually have a little bit,
Oh,
but I have
yeah.
like 3 that I haven't opened yet. It started with the lip balm, which used to come in a different container because I deal with such dry lips in the winter. Let me tell you,
Same year round.
baby,
That's it.
this right here, done, game changer, game.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
this is what opened the door to BioScience for me. And then I went on there. So I realized that was vegan. And then I went on there and I saw this rose oil,
I've
rose
used
hip
their oil, rosehip oil. Yep.
the oil, but then everything, their creams, their night serums. I have the toner, the cleansers. Like I have their eye creams. People look at my skin and my friends, and they're like, oh my God, what are you using? And I'm like, Biossance. Let me put it this way. I went for some reason, I think I left my products up in New Jersey and I came down to Atlanta because I'm back and forth. And I forgot my Biossance products and I didn't get to the store to buy anything. And I was looking in the mirror one morning and I was like, my
Oh,
skin is kind of, and I went and got the Biossance and boom, like that. My skin just came back to life. It is so well researched. The scientists there really do their homework. It is my numero uno beauty product is Biossance. And they do not pay me. They have sent
right.
me some free products over the years when I did a TV segment, but I buy it myself and I am, a spokesperson. They don't even have to pay me for it.
That's good. I'm going to get them on then. And trust me, girl, I'll shout you out and be like, you need to reach out to Jacque Reid because I've
They're the
heard so much
best.
about it. Like I said, I've used their rose hip oil, which is beautiful, but that's the only
So
product
great.
from them I've tried. So I mean, lips for me, I'm like, I need it. I can't even wear lipstick because my lips are
Girl,
always so dry and cracked. And I'm like, ugh, ugh. So
it,
I'll
it became,
definitely give
yep.
that a
After that,
try.
I never dealt with dry lips again. So as far as like my face and my skin, that's what I use. And then there's this brand called Brown Girl Jane, right? Which has
Okay.
so many great products. I love them so much. But here's what you have to get. They have this body cream lotion. and this oil that you spray out for your body, listen to me.
Delicious.
A game changer.
Game changer.
It is
Game
a
changer.
game changer for your body. It is one of my favorite things. My only wish is that they made the container bigger, because it's like, I don't want to use it all, but I just need to order more, because it's just so well made. I love it. I love it. I love it. So it's Brown Girl Jane, and they make some of everything. They have, they do a lot of stuff with CBD.
Okay. Yeah.
And so they have, gummies, vegan gummies that you can take, and all kinds of different things. But I love those two products specifically from them. They have beauty drops that you can put in your water or just take yourself. But I love everything that they have. Good stuff. Oh, and let me mention this about another beauty company that I love is SAKARA.
Oh yeah,
Those
SAKARA.
girls, they're not vegan, but they do a lot of plant-based products, and their beauty drops and their beauty chocolates, which are vegan.
So good. We just had a little, because people who listen to this, I work with New Beauty, and they were just in the test tube, and the test tube I think you get for like $30 a tube, $39. And those SAKARA drops, you got 2 bottles of the charcoal drops in the tube. Incredible value, because they're not cheap, but you love them.
They're
and
not.
People love them.
Yeah, one day I'm gonna subscribe to their food, where
Oh yeah, I've looked at it before, and I'm like, it's so expensive, and to be honest, I think for me, I need more food than that. But you never know. You never know.
Well, listen, I said what I'm gonna do. They have this thing that you can do, which is a 10-day kind of detox.
Yeah.
And I've played around with doing it the first 10 days of every month. Just really eating very clean. Or I don't know if I'll do all 10 days, but I might. I'm playing around with the first 10 days, either eating raw vegan or doing something like SAKARA. I have their cookbook, by the way, which I did an interview with them years ago when they put out the cookbook, and it really is great. The things that I love about them, right, you're correct. The food is not for the hearty eater. But if you are trying to kind of cleanse, like I was saying, the first 10 days, the first week of the month, something like that, the first month of the year, if you're trying to do something that like that, particularly after the holidays, their foods, everything in there is so good for you. And it really, it's like at some point with me, this is me, because I'm even thinking about giving up alcohol, which is big for me.
Yeah.
Just because, it's just, if you want to be healthier, even if you want to absorb nutrients that are going to help you build collagen for your body, you need to stop drinking.
Alcohol is so bad, but it's so good sometimes. But no, it's so bad. It's so bad.
It really is. It's just not good for you. But it's fun, and I love it. I love a cocktail. I love a glass of champagne, especially rosé. Sparkling rosé is one of my favorite things on the planet. But at some point, this is my journey, not for anybody. This is for me, right? I'm like, okay, what I want to look as, I want my skin to be as tight and taut for as long as possible. And so at some point, I have to say, okay, especially for us, right? For those of us that are in front of the camera, you have to make those choices, right?
And you know what? It is something too, the older that we get, the more it shows, like, I can't go out and have the nights that I used to. I'd be dead. And I wake up and the first place I see it is not feeling hungover. I see it in my face. So that's it. You know what, Jackie, I want to say, I love that you have shared your journey with us. And if people want to follow your journey, if they want to know more about you, where is the best place to go? Because you have some amazing resources for anybody who's ready to either commit to the vegan lifestyle or maybe even just dabble in it, right?
Dabble in it. I have my whole 12 months of vegan program that kicks off in January, where all we're doing is switching out butter. And if you want to just learn or experience what it's like to eat vegan, it's a great way to dip your toe in. You don't have to go all in. Every month we swap out something already in your kitchen for a vegan version of it. And then you'll just get a taste of what it's like, and you'll find brands that you like along the way, and you'll try recipes. We're there's a free Facebook group that you can join as well to learn how to follow along. And if you don't want to do that, just follow me on VeganSexyCool on social media, or go to VeganSexyCool.com. I haven't done podcast episodes in a minute, but I'm gearing up to do that again, probably in the spring.
Okay.
I love doing the podcast because it gives me an opportunity to do, what I'm doing here with you. I knew my phone was gonna run. Hold on.
Oh, well, you know what? Listen, we're going to let you go and take that call. I just absolutely adore you. I want to thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your experiences, your information, your advice on going vegan, and also just embracing a better 2023. I couldn't imagine of kicking off this show and this year with anybody better. I really want to thank you.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Amber. I love everything that you do, so it's an honor to be a part of it and be invited as a guest. Thank you.
Amazing. And if you have any questions you want me to pass on to Jackie, you can also find her on Instagram at the Jacque Reid Experience. But you can write me a hello at Art Beauty Podcast. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Art Beauty Podcast. And I want to thank you all for just sticking with me this year. I think it's going to be a really great year. We have some exciting guests coming up. And as always, we will see you next Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.